What's up, everybody? We're back. I'm live with CremRo Smith.
What's that?
We are here in Electric Serenade, which is a private karaoke room located inside of Play at 16 South Palafox. Y'all need to come check it out. ElectricSerenade.com is how you book this room, by the way. CremRo is a local rapper, and we're going to let him talk about B2B. We're going to start it off with the most recent release, right?
Okay, yeah, that's the most recent. B2B, acronymically, it stands for Blessed to Be Breathing. It's actually a cremix or a remix that I released last year. Record called Blessed to Be Breathing. So I re-released the remix or the cremix this year with Bubba Sparks. He's a good friend of mine, legendary artist,
Sure.
in my opinion, and then my brother Sickness out of Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
So it's doing pretty well, you know. Ultimately, I'm blessed to be breathing. I feel like a lot of people should have that attitude, you know, if they're walking around and living life. So it's a crimpactful record. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I
Yeah,
see you have your CremRo water
yeah.
too.
We got the Florida water. We got the Florida water. We got the Creme koozies that came out the cola koozie. Matter of fact, I brought this for y'all.
Oh,
Yeah, that came out the cola koozie. You know.
I love it. I'll
That's
let you
mine.
use it
That's
during if
mine.
you want.
Oh, for sure. Appreciate you.
Sure thing. That way you keep your water warm.
Right, right.
But I will take it later. Don't don't worry about it. I ain't gonna forget it either.
All right, heard that. Heard that.
And you've also toured with Jelly Roll and Haystack.
Right, right. Yeah, Stack's the big homie. Jelly's the big homie. In 2014, I got an opportunity to go on tour with Stack. We did 180 shows in 1 year.
That's a lot of shows.
A lot of shows, man, and that's how I met Jelly. That's how I met a lot of incredible artists. But got an opportunity to see 42 states of our beautiful country, like 98 different cities. I was on the road for a long time. You know, it was a real collegiate experience for me. It was kind of like my college. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. How
Yeah.
did you get in touch with them to be able to go on tour?
Well, I met Stack. Matter of fact, I met Stack here in Pensacola. There's another local rap group named Cutthroat,
Mm-hmm.
and shout out to Cutthroat, man. They, I was living. See, I'm from Nicola, but I moved to Orlando in 2009. So while I was down in Orlando recording and trying to spread my wings, I saw that Haystack was coming to Pensacola. There used to be a venue off of 29 called Carousel.
Yep.
I think they turned it into Live after that or something
Yep.
like that. But they booked Stack, and long story short, short story long, I called them. I was like, "Yo, man, I want to open up." So they were like, you know, it's $100 or whatever. So I sent the $100. I traveled up here, and in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna do the show, but I'm gonna bring some extra money to get Haystack on this record. I had this song still do called Real Good Rapper, and so I came up, did the show. We recorded the song, shot the video, and I felt like I was accomplished. I was like, man, Stack, one of my favorite rappers of all time, and he's become a brother to me. We still talk about once a week. So about a year went by after I released the song, and they called me and it was like, hey, you want to go on tour? We're about to do 10 shows in 10 different cities. I was like, yeah, I would love that because I had really never toured outside the Southeast, you know. And so I ended up going on tour with them, and 10 turned to 20 to 30 to 40 all the way to 180. And we
That's
hit the
a
road.
busy schedule.
Yeah, it was crazy, you know. But like I said, it was collegiate. I always tell people, you know, I tried to treat each city like a different college campus, and each venue like a different classroom. You know, and each promoter like a professor, each DJ like a classmate, so to speak.
Right.
You know, because I didn't go to college personally, but that was kind of like my opportunity to travel and learn the craft that I love so much, you know.
Right.
So I carry like this merchandise that I carry. I learned a lot of that from that tour. You know, how to build good relationships, good rapport, treat people how you want to be treated so you can come back and continue to do business over time, you know.
Okay. Do you have any
Yeah.
impactful, helpful hints for anybody that is trying to make it here?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just in general in life, you're trying to make it in Pensacola or Hershey, Pennsylvania. I would just say, you know, be yourself and like treat people accordingly, especially if there's someone you feel you can work with over and over again. Like
Right.
we're talking about Sickness that's on the Blessed to Be Breathing remix with Bubba Sparks. You know, I met him in 2014 when I was touring with Stack.
Right.
You know, his cousin owned a venue out there called The Scene in Independence, Missouri. And I continued to do shows at that venue over time. So I would just recommend, you know, do good business
Yeah.
because
Network.
it is network absolutely, you know, and you know, hold yourself accountability, hold yourself accountable, and you know, stand on what you're doing. You know, do good business. I would say overall.
Right. What was your favorite place to travel during that tour?
Man, as far as like sightseeing or as far as crowd or
I'm gonna go with both of those. Like
both,
sightseeing, we'll start with sightseeing.
man, I tell you, Salt Lake City, Utah was eye opening.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about that? It was just
I mean, just I guess just such a difference from than the South,
yeah.
and I think we had ate some acid, and
Oh
so when we were on the little bird scooters,
yeah.
but overall, just being in a different culture, from downtown Salt Lake, Ogden, Utah. I really enjoyed Utah as well. But the
Okay.
fans, man, the fans in Salt Lake City, man, they were just powerful. They were powerful, yeah. So that was one of my favorite places for sure.
Okay, so you're saying both land, like the whole experience. The crowd was awesome.
The crowd was awesome. The venue, I remember the venue to this day. It was called Lo-Fi Cafe. Held about 200 kids. We sold it out. Haystack has a huge fan base. He's been in this game 25 years, and I always have to give him his. I mean, I don't have to. No one has to, but they do because he earned it. They give him his credit. He's a powerful MC. He's been in the game since the late '90s, and still dropping albums, still dropping records. So, but he's got a huge fan base, and they were there to see Stack, but they left learning about Ro.
There
They
you
left
go.
learning about Crem. So, and to this day, I still got friends and fans out there. So,
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So you're from here originally?
yeah, I was born in Sacred Heart Hospital right up the street.
Really,
Yeah.
really. And did you go to school here?
I did.
Okay, where'd you graduate?
I graduated from Pensacola Boys Base.
Okay.
I ended up getting in some trouble when I was a kid and had to go to different programs. I was a knucklehead, so to speak. But that's actually where I honed in on writing and releasing my promotions. With my pen and pad, and so I ended up getting my diploma at Pensacola Boys Base.
Okay.
Yeah, it's over there off of Chiefs Way in Warrenton.
Right. Yeah, like I've heard of like Pay Center for girls. I just didn't know what the boys version was called. So
it's actually I've been speaking with them to go out there and to speak with some of the youth, to the juvenile prisoners, because crazy thing, I remember being in that program and they used to bring athletes like Derek Brooks would come. He's from Nicola too, and when you're that young, you're really not trying to hear.
Yeah,
But
it helps coming from somebody that you might have a little bit of respect for.
Sure.
Or can maybe even relate to.
Right.
So I can definitely see that being something good, and it's really awesome that you're like wanting to help the community.
Oh man, that's my favorite part. That's like the cola video we were just talking about that I recently dropped. I got the guy Rodman. He's a local artist. He does all the artwork at Peg Leg Pete's on Pensacola Beach, but he went and did the Graffiti Bridge for me. He was like, "What do you want to do on the bridge? What do you want me to paint?" I was like, "Man, you got to put that Pensacola Beach ball.
Yeah.
You got to put the Pensacola Beach sign." And then he put my face on there. But it's the grassroots, it's the concrete cracks that made us. So I always want to carry that with me.
Oh, for sure.
It's real special to me.
For sure. So are there any artists that you have not had a chance to collaborate with that you really have a goal of collaborating with?
Oh, there's a lot of them, a plethora of them. Yeah,
okay.
A lot of them.
So is there anybody in particular, like if you had an option right now, somebody was like, you can go on tour with anybody you want?
Adele.
What would you say? Adele?
Yeah, Adele.
Really?
Yeah, I would love to work with Adele.
What do you like about Adele?
Man, she's just powerful. Her voice, her promotion, her depth, like she's just powerful. And granted, she's not a rapper, but she's just she's just a storyteller. She just she'll make you happy, she'll make you cry, she'll make you hug, she'll make you kiss. I really like her music.
She draws emotion.
Man, a lot of emotions. I'll be riding but sometimes I listen to Willie Nelson, sometimes I'm listening to 8-Ball and JG. And then Adele will come on, and I won't skip the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love Adele.
That's the thing that a lot of people might not recognize. They'd look at you and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's bumping this," and then they'd be in the car beside them, and you'd hear "Hello," and they'd be like, "What?"
I love Adele. I love Adele.
I think she's an awesome artist, and that would be really cool. Like, I mean, you could still collaborate with somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be an awesome collaboration. I think it's even better whenever you have two people that are outside of their element, like it's not the same thing, like what you can come up with.
Right.
So I think that creativity wise, you might learn something even, you know?
Absolutely. I'm sure I could learn something from Adele.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe take some singing lessons too.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You got your rap game strong. Y'all can trade.
Hey,
trade
I'll have her
lessons.
rapping and she'll have me singing.
There you go.
Yeah, we can even trade.
Yep, and y'all can practice at karaoke with me here at Play.
At the Electric Serenade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what's up.
There you go. And so what are your future plans? Like, do you have any are you writing anything now? Are you working?
Yeah, I'm working on CremRo and Friends 3. It's called Relationships. So CremRo and Friends is a collaborative um, project that I do every few years, where every record has a feature on it. So you'll hear myself and another artist on every song.
Okay.
So I'm releasing that in probably around April. It's called Relationships, CremRo and Friends 3. And then I'm working on this tape called Cremotions. I recently, last couple of years, I've been taking a lot of losses, you know, family-wise and stuff like that. So these last few records I've been recording have been real powerful to me and real promotional. So I'm going to release Cremotions in September, around my pop's birthday. Both of my parents' birthday were in September, so usually I drop during that time.
Oh, yeah.
Release during that time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that your parents had a strong influence on your writing?
Manuscriptly, absolutely. They both had phenomenal handwriting. They just both have phenomenal. And a lot of people compliment on my handwriting. It looked like chicken scratch to me. You know, looked like I was supposed to be a doctor and dropped out the first day. You know, but manuscriptly, they most certainly did. But that's probably about the only way, you know, to my writing. Yeah, neither of them were really into. They were both fans of music, but they were both salespeople.
Right.
You know, they're both in the sales force, which, you know, trickled down the family tree to me, because ultimately I'm a salesperson myself now. Yeah. When I go to these different cities and I pop my merch table open and I'm interacting and engaging with fans and family and friends, you know, I'm offering them a chance to purchase my brand, you know, or a T-shirt or a CD or a creme freshener or whatever the case. So I know they're both proud of me. You know, that's the main thing. Yeah.
For sure. I could totally see them just being like, man, he's got it going on over here. He's talking to all these people. He's living out his dreams right now. Because I'm sure you would have never imagined going on tour with Haystack. And
man, it was crazy. You know, I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't think I was gonna do something with it. Like, I used to be rapping in the mirror as a kid. Like, I just knew I was special.
You knew it.
I knew I was special, and I don't try to, you know, be conceited or cocky, but I knew I had something to give the world. But see, back when I was young, you know, it wasn't cool. It wasn't trendy. There wasn't a lot of Mexicano or light-skinned white boy rappers. Like, it wasn't a thing then. You know, you were actually kind of looked down upon or picked on or poked at a little bit to have that type of hobby or that type of, you know, want or drive to do something like that. Now, you could throw a rock and hit a white rapper, or throw a rock and hit a rapper. You know, everybody, a lot of people are more into the art, which I like.
Yeah, that's really good.
But
that also means that they're listening to that too, which means you're also having more listeners for yourself. You know, like you can corner that market in a way.
Exactly.
So I think that's awesome. So how can we purchase, if we wanted to buy one of your CremRo air fresheners or any of your swag over here? Do you have a website or like?
Yeah, CremRo.com.
CremRo.com. It's that easy.
That easy. I'm the only CremRo in the world, so you know I try to make it somewhat easy as far as marketing. You know, so CremRo.com. I keep it. Me and a teammate of mine, we keep it updated. So hats, hoodies, creme fresheners, pins. I sell pendants as well. You know, small charms. You know. Merchandise is one of my main sources of revenue musically. You know, really as an artist these days, you're gonna have your streams, your merchandise, your shows, your features, you know, endorsements once you get up there, you know, and a collaborative transactional endorsements, or like even something like this. You know, y'all giving me the blessed opportunity to be here. You know, I got to plug my website.
Of course.
You know, so and I'll make sure we cross network, and I'll share y'all's as well. But yeah, CremRo.com. Usually it takes about 5 to 7 days for me to get everything shipped out. You know, you get the tracking information after your purchase, so It's been, matter of fact, somebody just bought 10 creme fresheners day before yesterday.
Really?
And I sell them for 10 a piece, so it's
That helps
pretty,
a lot.
it really does, But like my cousins say, it's like a baby. You got to feed it. So 80% of the revenue I get off of merchandise, I put right back into my brand.
Right. You absolutely have to do that, or else you're not going to grow.
Exactly.
And you're investing in yourself that way. So on CremRo.com, can you also like check out if you're do you play shows anywhere lately? Or
I do. I recently did vinyl.
Okay.
It was my first time I co-headlined vinyl with Big Low. Are y'all familiar with Big Low?
I'm familiar.
Man, that's actually the first guy that ever booked me in Pensacola.
Really?
Back in 2011 at Sluggo's. I don't know if y'all remember Sluggo's. It was like a little.
Oh no, I definitely remember Sluggo's.
yeah. Shout out to Big Low.
The vegetarian restaurant that at night turned into like a music venue.
Yeah. The stage was like 8 inches off the floor, but man, we got it rocking, man. Shout out to Big Low, but it was crazy because he gave me that opportunity in 2011, and here we were in 2022, co-headlining vinyl together, and we had a great show. Matter of fact, you can go on YouTube and check out the live performance.
Okay.
I call it a recap, like a little recap or whatnot. Yeah. But we did that, and then I recently did Handlebar. Shout out to Mad Love, Wild Charge, and I think the fella's name Goodspeed. The fella,
Robert Goodspeed.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. And man, they did a makeover, a transformation on that place.
They changed it a lot.
Looks
dude.
Great.
It really does. Robert Goodspeed, actually, we went in to go interview him, and he actually told us that, he was the current owners.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I almost had to talk them into keeping it, you know what I mean, in order to revamp it and do that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they trusted him with it, and he ran with it, and he did a good job.
Man, he capitalized on that.
He rocked it. Like, I don't hear anything bad about that venue since it's reopened.
Man, I walked in the bathroom and looked like a Crembacy Suites in that mug.
I know.
Was like, man, it looked beautiful in there.
Compared to how they used to look. You remember what they...
Oh, man. That's a whole nother podcast.
Look, I'd go pee on a bush, too, okay?
Rolled up dollar bills on the floor, and no telling was in that camp. And that, but they did a great job. So, but back to your question, we did vinyl, we did Handlebar, and I'll be doing March 3rd. I'll be at Downtown Music Hall in Fort Walton Beach.
Really?
Friday, March 3rd. Yeah.
Friday, March 3rd, y'all. Y'all make sure you're going out there. So.
Absolutely. And anybody in South Carolina, I'm in Spartanburg, South Carolina this month on the 17th with Bubba Sparks at a place called Ground Zero.
Ground Zero
in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Another venue that I met, that I performed at with Stat and Jelly back in 2014 and 15 that I still have a relationship with. Yeah. And it just goes back to saying, you treat people right, you leave with a good taste, you leave them with a good taste in their mouth, a good thought in their mind, they'll bring you back sometime.
For sure. And that's that proves to, like, if there's any venues or anybody watching, that you're a great option for them because you've had this relationship almost a decade, you're working on a decade.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people can't hold a relationship with a venue for a decade. To be honest,
they can't hold a relationship with their girlfriend for 2 days these days. So a business relationship for a decade is powerful.
It's very powerful. Like, it really is. Yeah. So we really appreciate you coming out and talking to us. Is there anything that you're releasing or anything you want to announce that we haven't touched base on?
Ultimately, I would say just keep an eye out on my social media and CremRo Smith on Instagram, CremRo Smith on Facebook, CremRo.com for merchandise, videos. I would say please go stream my Florida Water album. It's a powerful album. I put a lot of promotions and a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears into it. But there's a record on there titled Cola. And
that's a good one,
the most underrated city in Florida.
Man, I'm telling you, it's just I like to consider myself like a factual rhythm connoisseur more than a rapper.
Right.
I feel like the more that we tell the truth is going to separate us and put us in our own realm, in our own lane. And that entire album is just factual rhythm to me. But the Cola record is powerful. The video is doing well. And I would just, if I can just get you to listen to 1 or 2 songs, I feel like I can get you down that CremRo Smith rabbit hole. Like, if I can get you to listen to 3, you're probably going to listen to the rest of my catalog. But
yeah, and that's true because whenever we were getting you on, we were checking out your music, and I was like, okay, this one's good. And then I was like, oh, this one's good too. And I was like, okay. Okay, he's got it going on. I know exactly. Like I listen to all kinds of music,
Sure.
but
Me too.
like literally all over the board, and I was impressed that you were from here.
Thank
I
you.
was very impressed. I was like, that's Pensacola right there. You know,
Thank
like
you
that's
very much. Yeah.
that speaks to our community. So thank
Right.
you for putting a positive light on our community.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. We're all we got. We're small, like my bro Boneface used to say. He's like, we're small, but we're big at the same time.
That's true.
Because I've been all over the country, man. You talk about Florida, people think Jacksonville, they think Tallahassee, Miami, St. Pete, Tampa, Key West.
They don't know nothing about the
They
Panhandle.
don't hear the cola much, So everywhere I go, I definitely suggestively represent Pensacola, Florida for sure. Yeah.
Well, we definitely appreciate
Kelly
that.
commented and said, I followed when I found out he was coming on the podcast. It's definitely been bumping in my car ever since.
Oh, man, shout out to Kelly. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly. Well, we'll continue to share anything you have going on. If you have an upcoming show, if you have a new release, let us know. Send it to us. We'll share it on the podcast page.
Okay.
And go follow his social media right now.
Yeah.
Keep up to date.
Now.
Like right now.
Right now. Yeah.
Yep.
And
all
so
right.
we got real quick, I'm gonna plug these shows. So February 17th in Spartanburg, South Carolina, I'm at Ground Zero with Bubba Sparks. Shout out to Bubba. He's a legend. March 3rd, I'm at Downtown Music Hall in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. March 17th, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri at Club Climax. And March 18th, Saturday night, I'm at the Booby Trap in Topeka, Kansas.
Okay.
I love Topeka, top city. So those are the next 4 showcases that I have coming up. So if you're in those areas, you know anybody in those areas, got friends, family, fans out there, please tell them to come see me. I pour my heart out every show I get, every show I perform at. So
absolutely. And I've got family out in North Carolina, but I'm sure I'll if I mention it to them, they'll be able to share it on their pages to get more around their region. So
yeah, we just did what part of North Carolina is your family?
Fayetteville, actually.
Okay,
like Fayette Mills.
Yeah, Fayette Nine.
Bragg.
They call it Fayette Nine up there. I just did outside Charlotte, there's a little city called Gastonia, and I call it the gas station.
Yeah.
But I go up there. We just did the Rooster not too long ago, and a buddy of mine owns that venue. But yeah, I love the Carolinas. They're cool. It's
a nice place. I lived there for about 3 months, maybe. Okay. but my grandfather had Alzheimer's, so I went to go help take care of him. So it's an interesting area, and there's a venue there. I want to say their name was like Joker's Pub or something like that. Okay. They have a lot of local acts. So I'm going to ask my mom about exactly what it's called, and I'm going to get that to you just in case you can drop through that area.
Have you ever heard of Asheville?
Yes.
North Carolina. So I performed at the Asheville Music Hall a couple times, and then there's a place called Hooligans in Jacksonville, North Carolina that we performed at. So Carolina's a real good market, especially up the East Coast. I feel like they have a mesh of New York coming, they have a lot of fans of like kind of the East Coast New York hip hop, but it's also considered the South. So they have a lot of fans for Southern hip hop as well. So it's like a melting pot halfway between here and New York. Yeah. So I like the Carolinas,
Yeah, sure. I have not been to a show in the Carolinas, so
really?
I'm going to need to do that sometime.
Get you to Spartanburg on the 17th.
17th.
South Carolina, yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
We're taking this stuff on the road.
Let's go.
There's people who take their podcasts on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all something real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
What are some podcast shows that y'all watch or listen to that influence y'all to keep doing what y'all doing?
Actually, there's a local Mississippi one called The Sound 228.
Okay.
And we love them because, they actually integrate the local artists with like the mainstream artists, and it's more like rock scene.
Okay,
they do all kinds of stuff, but like it's like a lot of like the mainstream rock, and they're able to make a Dirty 30 countdown, and you'll see like the local artists mixed in with the regular artist because they have an app where the requests come in, so it'll actually rate the request, and they can have mainstream music on it.
And no disrespect to mainstream music at all, but it's cool when you see that list and you see like Hailstorm, the band Hailstorm down here, but then you got the local band Pardon the Scars right above them.
Okay.
Yeah,
And it's just cool
within
to
the
see.
same the same area,
the
right?
same, yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Like you see a Billboard top charts. Okay,
Yeah.
well, you're sitting next to the similar type of artists that are on Billboard, but you're in the Dirty 30 for the Sound 228 because that's true.
Yeah, and that's a good group to be around. That's some good company.
Oh yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? That's cool.
Makes it look good for sure, and they're really professional about it. The host that's on there, Kevin, he is also in radio. He does in Mississippi. It's 97.9 CPR Rocks.
Okay.
And he lives here though.
In Nicola?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
he
what's
lives
up.
here, but he like broadcasts or he sends his shows in.
Okay.
And his co-host and all of their main stuff is in Mississippi, but he's from here, so it's kind of cool because he'll come. He lets me message him with questions. They're very collaborative. They're helpful.
Yeah.
They're not selfish.
Kind of coach out a little bit or exchange ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Because whenever we got into this, we didn't know what we needed or what we wanted. And we had questions that were like, how do you do this? Because you're doing this and it looks really cool, but we don't know how to do that.
Right.
And they were, it's like this is how much this program costs, or you can try these, you know?
Right, showing you the radio ropes, so to speak. Yeah, you mentioned 228. That's like Biloxi, isn't it?
Yep.
Like Ocean Springs,
Yep,
Biloxi.
Ocean Springs. Yeah. That's exactly where it's at.
Yeah, I like that too. We used to perform at a place called Level in Biloxi. I think it was in one of the casinos, but I think one of the hurricanes put them, unfortunately. But, you know, y'all are from here too. It's Hurricane Highway. We used to going through that.
Yeah, we knew.
I love it. I love it when a visitor comes here or a newcomer moves in here and they hear hurricane season. They're sitting here buying everything back and down. We're just like,
yeah, we're buying beer. They're buying water.
Right, and toilet tissue.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We're just like, dude, we've been through this many times.
Man, I'm telling you, Aaron, Opal, Daniel, Katrina, Ivan, you know, a lot of them.
They were.
Man, Ivan was pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ivan
that was bad.
I remember moving back. I lived in Indiana. Matter of fact, when I got out of boys' base, I moved up to Indiana because my parents had moved away while I was locked up in boys' base. And they moved to Indiana. And so I'm getting out of this juvie camp. I'm like, man, I'm from Florida. I don't want to move to Indiana. Like, what is Indiana? I'm thinking it's all cornfields. But I moved up there for a year, and it was serious.
Yeah,
it was serious. I learned a lot. I ended up coming back to Nicola, and right when I came back, Ivan hit. Yeah.
Bad timing. Should just waited a little bit longer.
Right. Should have stayed in the snow. Should have stayed in the snow for a minute.
Yeah, because Ivan was rough. We were without power for like a month or 2 months or something like that.
Right.
I was in a cast at the time.
Oh no.
Yeah, I had a
broken bone. That was that struggle though when you're at when you know. You only have so much food in the freezer that lasts so long,
right?
And then like
it's not the struggle for the first 2 days. You're trying to eat it all.
And then you see the Meals on Wheels truck go by the neighborhood, and everybody's running over it like it's the ice cream man.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We were living off of them damn MREs.
Yep.
Those meals ready to eat. I'm talking about, boy. And I grew up in the kitchen, you know, so we would make the best we could out of. But my favorite one was the one that came in that little baby Tabasco bottle.
Oh yeah.
It's a little turkey tetrazzini or something like that. So you put the Tabasco on. But I always tell people, like, growing up, if you didn't go to college or county jail, you went to a kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Food and beverage, especially around here, you know, is it's a pretty suitable, you know, occupation for a lot of us. But those MREs were crazy, man. That was a crazy time, but we survived.
Oh
we got through it like we always do.
We made it through. Yeah,
I like the cheese tortellini one.
Oh,
that one was good. Do you remember that one?
The mystery meat.
Yeah, the mystery meat. That one was cheese though. You can't really, but it concerns me because of how long they last.
You know, I saw on YouTube. This guy was everything on YouTube now. It's like the modern day television, but there's a guy who has a channel that opens up MREs from like the 30s and 40s, like. He has old ass MREs from like old wars, and he opens them up and like reviews. I think
I've seen that.
It's crazy
because they got all kinds of weird stuff in there. Like yeah.
It's crazy.
I moved into my grandparents' house, and I went to one of their closets, and there was a bunch of boxes, and it was from whenever Ivan happened. They were all MREs. I was like,
Like I'm set.
In straight boxes, man. Like just like I was like, whoa, okay.
Right. That's a good thing about grandparents, man. They knew how to stash.
Yeah, they did.
They knew how to stash.
They definitely did, man. Because I was like, well, at least if I'm broke this week, I got food.
yeah. My grandparents were actually they were immigrants from Mexico.
Really?
I know you can't tell, but like my real name is Cristobal Ramon Correa. But nobody can say that shit from the coda. Like when I was growing up.
Try it. Christopher
Ramon Correa.
Christopher Ramon Correa.
That's it.
Look, I tried.
You did it.
And yes.
You killed that. Yeah.
But I was like, I gotta concentrate.
But they came here with a vision, man, and they worked really, really hard to give my daddy an opportunity. So like, they was immigrants. My daddy was a Chicano, which is like where you were born on this side. He was born about 2 miles on this side of Texas, right. On this side of United States. And they just gave him a great opportunity to be a part of this country and work and establish, and which inherently gave me an opportunity to do the same, for my family and fans and friends. So I don't see a lot of people give their grandparents the credit or family the credit that they should. Maybe It's just kind of an older soul, nostalgic attribute I have, but I'm very family oriented. Most of my family passed on now, but they, I carry them with me a lot. So if your grandparents are still alive or your parents are still alive, man, I would just highly, highly recommend that you cherish them. And when they do eventually leave this earth, cherish the memories, keep them alive. I have songs about my granny, my father, my mama, all of my fallen, my guardian angel, so to speak. Right. So family is important to me. So sometimes I see kids, cussing at their grandparents, cussing their parents out. I'm like, I know times get hard, man, but like, treat them right. If treat them
they're
right.
There for you.
They're there for that shit. They brought you in here.
Yep.
Like you would not be here without them. So
exactly.
Yeah, man.
Well, this has been an awesome interview, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Like maybe share whenever you're coming through here again.
Yeah, I definitely want to get you back on.
Please, I'd appreciate it. And it's a goal for 2023 for me to I'm gonna try to launch a little food show. So I do want to plug that. I got this show coming called Rappetizers.
Yes.
Yeah. So and nobody steal my damn idea either. But I'm
right.
Yeah. So
hey, we got video proof right now.
I'm telling you, I stand.
Yeah, we're ready.
But we starting in Pensacola, so my buddy owns Brown Bagger food truck.
Right.
My other buddy owns Who Dat Po' Boy truck. So I'm gonna start with local. Of course, and go to Blue Dot. I don't got the money to go to Jackson's yet, but I'm gonna start with like the local and just go and sit down and have a few appetizers, have a few meals, roll view the food, have a beer or whatnot, and then cross network the business. Okay. And so we're shooting that this year.
Okay. Have you heard of Rustic Spoon?
I've heard of it, but I haven't been.
That is the trending rage. I haven't been yet either, but the chef used to work at Alice's.
Oh, okay.
And like he was like their head chef, and he decided to venture out on his own. Got his own truck. His name's Rusty.
Okay.
And he look at the page. That's all I gotta say. You're gonna read these things in the descriptions, and you're gonna be like, I need that now.
Shit, I'm hungry. I might go get that after.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I might have to go see Rustic Spoon.
A lot of time he's out front of Emerald Republic Brewing.
Okay.
That's normally where he is, which is right outside of Alice's too, across the street.
Yeah,
but
I went to that place next door to Alice's the other day. I can't remember the name of
Kingfisher.
it. Yeah, the sandwich spot. And I walked in. It was the first day that I released the Came Out the Cola hoodies. I'll never forget it. And the girl was like, I love your hoodie. I was like, I made it this morning. And that night, I went to a studio session. That night, I got an order, and it was the girl from the shop. She ordered a hoodie. Yeah, so I wrote a personal note. But same thing I'm saying with just the marketing. But, if you're proud of where you came from, I feel like, you should support your city,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you do a great job of that.
Thank you.
For sure.
I appreciate it. But shout out to Orlando, too, man. I spent 11 years down there. And, I was born and I was, learned a lot here. But I feel like I became a man down in Orlando, just creating responsibilities and getting into a little bit of a corporate world. But when I moved back to take care of my pops and start a family, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to move back to the cold. I always have love, but I felt it was kind of slow. And then the vinyl show popped off, Handlebar popped off, and I'm like, hey, it feels good to be home.
Yeah,
it really does. You know, it really does.
I believe that's something you got to do when you, especially from people like that come from here.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go off and branch out somewhere, and then you take that knowledge of what you learn from there and you bring it back. And that's why we're a melting pot around here.
Exactly.
So everybody's got the different ideas and different cultures, and when you bring them together, we mix it together, and you make something great out of it.
Absolutely, it's the gumbo.
Yeah,
it's the gumbo. You know, and we're the roux.
There you
know,
go.
we're the roux or the roe. You know what I'm saying? So that was up. Well, I appreciate y'all having me. It's been a cool experience.
Right. Thank you so much.
For
All right. We're going to sign off from here. Y'all make sure you're checking out CremRo.com for that merch.
We still have Southbound Foundation. We got the Pensacola podcasters in this camp, man. Southbound Foundation, CremRo Smith Music. I love y'all.